3, 2, 1, and shit's gonna be on fire. Alright boys, let's get this taken care of. And the beds are on fire. Wait, why are you guys sleeping? Yo, you're right next to the fire. You're right next to the, hold on, get up, put the fire out, she's gonna die. What are you people doing? There's shit on fire, why are you sleeping? So with the world going wild every other week, I am here to announce that I have decided to make it even worse by becoming an evil genius. This strategy game started all the way back in 2004, where I played it on my mom's laptop with about 14 frames per second. At the time, there really wasn't anything like it. I mean, a game where you could actually play the villain. And this isn't one of those situations where the villain has a redemption arc. No. You're a total piece of shit all the way through, and it was great. With its clear love for the spy thriller genre, and its creativity in implementing that into gameplay, Evil Genius stuck with me all these years. Fast forward nearly 2 decades later and Evil Genius 2 was announced. At the time I was in the student union of my college and let out a very excited and very audible what the fuck, which gathered the attention of everyone around me cause it was 7 AM. Then seconds later, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 was announced, which made me let out an even louder and even more excited what the fuck. This caused students to think I was mentally deranged and led to them creating space between us. Despite the embarrassment, I was excited and hopeful for the future. And what I got for being optimistic for once was a global pandemic and Bloodline 2 just straight up eating shit. But we still got Evil Genius though. The series was brought back by Rebellion Developments, and I gotta say they did an excellent job of nailing the vibe the first game had, while also adding their own little spin to the series to modernize it. The game's art direction is like Pixar decided to make a story on how far narcissism will get you in life, and because of that, characters and the environments are packed with fun details and very expressive animation. With how over the top the world of Evil Genius is, this choice fits perfectly. The characters are well designed and fun to look at, which is a really good thing because in the strategy management genre, you're gonna be doing that a lot. As your minions go about their day, you can see them constantly interact with their environments, because an Evil Genius lair has a ton of jobs to do. You can follow any minion around at any time to see what they are doing throughout the day. Some will be doing construction work, some will be training to earn a new promotion, and some will stop to chat with their friend, which will promptly trigger their execution because you pay these idiots for labor. And they're gonna do some fucking labor, alright. Before you could do that, you need to choose your evil genius, and each genius comes with their own unique abilities and story objectives. Geniuses come with one unique active ability that you could trigger, like Maximilian's ability that allows minions to complete their training and earn an instant promotion. An aura ability that comes with a unique passive like Zelika's ability to make scientists research even longer without resting while in her aura. And a unique passive ability like how Emma's deception minions are more effective while also having a decreased upkeep cost. For this review, I didn't choose any of these geniuses. Instead, I chose the 4th genius, Red Ivan, who I did not pick because of current events happening in the world right now. And no, that's not a joke. I want to make it totally clear. I chose him for a completely different reason, and I do not want people to think I'm making a joke of some serious shit going down right now. This is really unfortunate timing. So the reason why I chose Red Ivan is because like the poster boy Maximilian, he's a returning character from Evil Genius 1. However, Ivan was not an evil genius, but a henchman. Henchmen in the game are very powerful minions that have passive and active abilities like evil geniuses, but have high combat stats. So if any chaos breaks out in your lair, they could rush in to shut that shit down. So to see Red Ivan go from the right-hand man to the big boss himself is honestly pretty cool to see. Although that means Red Ivan now needs a right-hand man. And luckily, Evil Genius 2 has a wide variety of henchmen you can recruit. The game gives you one freebie to start you off, and then you can recruit a few more henchmen by completing a side questline at your own pace. These quests will have you going toe-to-toe with the henchmen themselves so you can beat them into submission and have them swear loyalty to you. There's a good amount of cool henchmen to check out like Eli Barracuda Jr., who's one stylish fast talker and sharpshooter. Or Iris, who is the Lairs AI supercomputer turned into a fully functioning combat bot. And also just look at her. Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, this video is actually a lie. I'm not reviewing Evil Genius 2, instead I'm here to present my video essay on why Robussy is better than Puss. There's also the Pyro from Team Fortress 2. Yeah, I want to ask a lot of questions, but to be fair, if the Pyro pulled up and said, I don't think it would be wise to turn him down. Pyro was added as a free DLC pack, and he is such a fun addition to the game. He's an absolute bulldozer in combat, but since this is the Pyro we are talking about, he has a habit of not caring about friendly faces, or furniture, or like, anything that could be literally set on fire, you're basically given a walking nuke, and when it goes off, everything within it, regardless of being friend or foe, is going to go down in flames. Pyro is a great example of what a henchman can be because no one else in the game plays like him. Eli Barracuda Jr. ain't no slouch in a fight, but when investigators are snooping around, he could use his charms to convince them to ignore the massively sketchy shit going on behind that door over there and be on their merry way. Ears can increase the security of your lair by becoming a living camera at any moment, which will instantly notify your guards if there has been any breaches in your lair. Henchmen don't only offer some muscle to deal with threats, but different utilities to deal with whatever the game throws at you, unless it's the Pyro. He just offers raw destruction. I should mention what makes playing Red Ivan so unique is the man is a genius henchman hybrid. Remember how I said in the first game he was the henchman? Well, all those years of experience haven't gone anywhere because unlike the other evil geniuses, if Red Ivan gets into a fight, he will eliminate everything in the room. And no, that's not an exaggeration. Remember how I said the geniuses have an active ability? Well, Ivan's allows him to whip out his rocket launcher from the first game, and if you happen to be in the way, well, pick a god and pray because you're gonna meet them very soon. I cannot stress this enough. In combat, Red Ivan fucks. Now, the henchmen aren't the only ones who keep the operation together. That would be your minions. An evil genius offers a wide variety to be at your beck and call. Your standard minions are going to be your workers, and please try your best not to make any Despicable Me jokes because I swear to God, I will reach through the screen and strangle you myself. These minions are your bread and butter. They will construct your rooms, and they will throw hands if need be. They're not very good at it, but they're doing their best. Next we have the muscle minions, and just by the name alone, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're your guards, and when the forces of justice start acting up, the muscle minions will be there. These minions can be outfitted with a variety of weapons. You got your clubs if you want to act like you're living in 1700s England, or you could travel to the land of the free and give your minions a gun. I mean, do I really need to say more? It's a gun. Hell, you can even upgrade it to be a machine gun if you want. I'll be honest, I'm not sure if there's really a difference between the upgraded melee and the ranged weapons, but I saw an opportunity to make fun of the British, and that's always worth it. I will warn you, since the muscle minions are primarily for combat, they have the same life expectancy as a fly, so be prepared to replace them very often. Next, we have your science minions. They do science. That's it. That's literally just it. To get better items in your lair, you need to do research, and to do research, you need science, and to do science, you need science minions. Oh, also they operate medical stations to heal your wounded minions, but if they're not doing that, then they're just going to be doing some more science.
Yeah, Mr. White! Yes, science!
Finally, we have the deception minions. See, it would be pretty sketchy if the world government noticed a bunch of helicopters delivering nuclear warheads to a remote island, so to distract them from that, you could run a casino resort as a front. The deception minions will run the resort, and when the forces of justice come knocking, these minions will distract them with gambling, booze, and more gambling. These minions are your first line of defense against the law, and if done properly, the investigators will just give up their hunt and have a good time. If you need some money, the deception minions are skilled con men who can rig games in the house's favor to steal some money. I also heard they scam some people out of their money using something called a blockchain and some monkeys. This allows you to earn some passive income as you play the game at the cost of investigators not being targeted for distraction. Just don't expect them to fight for you. In fact, they'll get the hell out of there the moment a fight breaks out, which usually is a smart thing to do, but with the Pyro around, you might as well just accept your fate. Now we get to the real meat of the game, which is creating your own secret lair inside your very own island. As an evil genius, you have your work cut out for you because you are responsible for building a base that could run like clockwork. We already talked about the minions, but you have to keep in mind they are human beings that also have needs. I know it's easy to forget that, especially if you worked as a retail manager before, but if you don't keep a satisfactory work environment for your minions, you can bet your ass they'll start posting on the anti-work subreddit about you. So you need to create things such as a living quarters to sleep in, a cafeteria to feed them, and a lounge room so they can watch TV and paint pretty pictures to help them forget the smells that their friends made after the Pyro roasted them. But wait, there is more. You need money and energy to run your lair, so you need a vault to store all of your gold, and a power room to store enough nuclear generators to make Chernobyl look tame in comparison. However, both of these rooms are prime targets for the forces of justice to hit. You have rogues who could disguise themselves and infiltrate your base where they will find your vault and take your money. You also have saboteurs who pack some big explosives and are ready to plant them on your generators, leaving your base without power. These rooms provide the most important resources in the game, along with a reason to buff your defenses and invest in your casino. If you want my advice, you can build an armory in the game, and this is where your muscle minions hang out. Behind the armory is where you should place the entrance to your vault, so if the rogues come to steal your money, they have to go through your bloodthirsty minions first. As for the generators, I've actually never had too much of a problem defending it, but having some extra security such as upgraded doors is always recommended. I don't think I did it though. Maybe you shouldn't listen to me. Now let's talk about goals. You're not creating a global criminal empire just to sit on your ass all day. You're gonna be sitting on your ass all day to play this game, but you get what I mean. Each genius has their own end goal. Maximilian just wants a shit ton of gold, so he's gonna turn the world into gold. Which kinda doesn't make sense because isn't gold valuable because it's rare? So if you turn an entire country into gold, wouldn't it be like worth less than a penny or something? Thankfully, we're playing Red Ivan, who instead wants to take back a country he claims belongs to him, so he will mobilize an army to... Okay, look, I'm being so serious right now when I say I chose Red Ivan only because he was in the previous game. I can't deny some of his goals are hitting a little too fucking close to home, but let's talk about how he's going to do it. So because Ivan has a major love for battle, he cooks up a misinformation campaign to turn the other countries against each... Jesus Christ, look. I'm just gonna ignore all the parallels altogether from now on and talk about the world menus instead. So you have the world menu, and this is where you act out your evil schemes on a global level. After you establish a connection in a region, you are given schemes that can earn you money, minions, or fuel for your Doomsday Device. Oh shit, I forgot about the Doomsday Device. Okay, so each genius has a Doomsday Device that functions differently. The outcome is always the same. You pick a region to fire at, and on the world menu, you could get a ton of money from the impact. However, depending on who you play will cause a different side effect from firing the machine. Red Ivan's side effect just so happens to light your fucking base on fire, causing everyone in the building to scramble to put the flames out. You know this is bad when even the Pyro can lend a helping hand in putting out the fires. That being said, you'll have to learn the side effects for your Doomsday Device and properly prepare to deal with those effects immediately. You still get a shit ton of money though, so that's nice. And back to the global menu. Or not, because there really isn't much to say. Your main and side objective quests can be found here, and all you have to do is make sure you have enough resources to complete the mission. There is something called heat that each region builds, and if you have too much heat, that region will lock down for a certain period of time, which may or may not send stronger agents to your base to investigate. Speaking of stronger agents, we should probably talk about the super agents. Each region has its own unique super agent that patrols the map, and if you do an evil scheme while they are in the region, they'll come straight to you, which at the start of the game can be a big problem because these agents are basically the equivalent of a raid boss, and will require your full force to deal with them. However, if you play it smart, that won't happen at all. See, agents only come to you if you come to them first. But if you just wait till they leave the area, then do whatever scheme you want, then you'll never see them in your base. When you learn this, the super agents are remarkably non-consequential because you can just build up your forces, and when you're ready, you can start the side quest to permanently eliminate them. I'm gonna keep that in. Fuck this, I added too much. It should be said I actually love the idea of super agents in the game because every evil genius should have some James Bond style rival to act as a foil. The game isn't even lacking in that department either because just like henchmen, the super agents all vary in what they can do. Agent X isn't the best fighter, but he will spawn inside your base undetected and plant evidence in your lair that could generate a ton of heat if left unattended. Symmetry, on the other hand, is an excellent fighter and comes with her own gang that are also dangerous in their own right. She is a master thief, so she will spawn inside your vault and absolutely clean it out, leaving you without a single dollar if you don't stop her. Again, I just wish these agents were more of a threat, but as it stands, you could just avoid them entirely. Something I wish you could avoid entirely is how damn grindy the game feels. When Evil Genius 2 first came out, the progression of the game felt like it could rival certain RPG-based mobile games, but this didn't have a pay-to-win function. Since then, the game has had multiple updates, and I will give the dev team props for fixing a lot of issues that were brought up at launch, but they never really fixed the grind. The cause of this, in my opinion, is two things: the fast forward button and the actual progression times. To advance in the story, you need to complete objectives, but these objectives require resources, and most of the time it's your very own minions. Problem is, when an objective requires a ton of high tier minions, but training those minions takes a good chunk of time even when the fast forward button is triggered. I mean, look at this minion train, and keep in mind this is with the fast forward on. Now imagine doing that 6 more times, and then doing that 7 more times for different minions. Yes, you can build multiple training stations to train multiple minions, but when the entire game revolves around this loop, not even that really makes up for it. I have hours upon hours of footage of me chillin' waiting for shit to finish, so I really needed something on the side to keep myself entertained. That something was an audiobook from Audible. Today's sponsor is actually Audible, and if you enter the code GenuineChillcast on their site, you will get absolutely nothing in return because everything I just said was a lie. I mean, look at my sub count. Do you really think Audible would be interested in my robustly advocating dumbass? But seriously though, this will probably be the biggest hurdle when it comes to this game keeping your attention. Despite it all, I genuinely love this game. The base building is simple to master, and with the right plans, the game will reward you heavily for your ideas. Managing minions is much easier than it looks, and seeing them make your lair run smoothly honestly has its own satisfying element to it. You start off with some pretty humble beginnings and grow into something much more sinister. And as the problems you had to deal with early game become something trivial in the late game, the game does have a very clear way of showing you that you are making progress as you play. The game's real low point is in the late game when you have all the equipment unlocked, a team of henchmen to break some skulls, and a base that has been crafted to perform as optimally as possible. From here, you realize that you don't really have much you need to do as the mastermind, and are instead just waiting for resources to pile up so you can advance with the story. This is normally a problem with the management genre itself because unless you fill the game to the brim with content, there's always going to be an endpoint in sight. This game's problem is that endpoint can happen very early on because it's incredibly easy to upgrade everything in your base before you even get close to the endpoint of the story. On the flip side, that early game of slowly planning your base layout, creating ways to keep the heat off you, and gathering resources to upgrade everything you need is an incredibly fun and engaging process. So much so, I'm frequently starting a new game and having a blast with the early game, only for me to lose interest in it late game. That doesn't mean the game won't keep you occupied. Do keep in mind this is a long game, and what could be considered late game for this is nearly 15 hours into a playthrough. It also helps there's enough variation between the geniuses and henchmen to make multiple playthroughs fun. It's just finishing those playthroughs might not be something you'll be interested in. Evil Genius 2 is a game I wanted nearly 15 years ago, and while that wait was very damn long, I can say despite some of its flaws, I am happy with the game finally making it here. As of right now, Evil Genius 2 can be played both on PC and console, with Xbox allowing you to play it on Game Pass with their subscription. Honestly, if you're a fan of these management simulators, this is a game that should be on your radar. And with the world constantly going wild, it's really soothing to be the reason why the planet is acting up. I'm Chris from Genuine Chill. If you liked the video, you should like the video and subscribe for more reviews because seeing that sub count go up is gonna be the only thing that will save you all when I eventually get my Doomsday Device working. What I'm reviewing next, I have no idea, but I am streaming on Twitch and I do have a fat review list that will show you what I'm working on. You can also make suggestions in the comments of what you would like me to review. I play fucking anything, so just throw something at me, dude. Just throw it. Throw money at me so I can review the game and not spend money on Warhammer. I'm gonna go test fire my Doomsday Device on Florida. But until then, I hope to see you next time.